Alright, hello, and welcome to Season 8, Episode 9, Majestic Pine. And you know what's crazy, actually? I forgot about this until just now where I remembered it, is that, because this is one of the episodes where I was, listening to, the first, few minutes of it, because I was just kind of vibing and chilling. And at the first, 2 seconds, Bob Ross is like, oh, thank you for joining us. This is the 100th episode of The Joy of Painting. And I'm like, what? No, it's not. I'm on episode, this is episode 95 or something. So I'm like, what happened? Maybe there's some episodes that weren't on the YouTube channel, question mark? That's a possibility. Or maybe it was some special or something that wasn't him actually painting that isn't on the YouTube channel. Maybe I don't know. So that's an interesting thing about this episode. Also, I have to try and draw this one small because I need to have space for the frame. As you can see, there's a cool frame, so we could do one of those fun things, a fun frame. Hannibal Hash Brown, good morning. How's it going? You do. Isn't that cool? What else is exciting that's happened? I haven't worked at all on my Secret Santa thing today. So that's cool. Also, I don't know. I don't got anything else fun that's happened. Okay, something crazy. So, earlier, because our basement is dumb and messy and should never have gone like that, but it's like that, so here we are with it like that. And we've been cleaning that out recently, and my dad was doing some cleaning today down there. And towards the end, there was some stuff that needed to go in the recycling bin, and I he was cutting up the box, and I had my shoes on. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to take the box into the recycling bin. But he, instead of just giving it to me, he barefoot walks into the garage where I'm sure some 1% of garages out there have some cool, fun, not just concrete floor or whatever it is, but he just walks out there barefoot and it's cold as fuck, and I'm like, why'd you do that? I was standing right there ready to put it into the recycling bin, and he just walked out there barefoot. Like, what? Why? And your shoes are right there, you just put the shoes on. I don't know, that was a extreme questionable decision. But aside from it being cold, I'm like, I would not want to walk barefoot in the garage, especially in the winter. At least in the summer, be like, okay, you're not tracking snow and mud and whatever else. At least in the summer, it'd be okay, it would be a little bit more acceptable. But in the winter, hell no. So that was really weird. I don't know why he did that. I don't know what his game plan was. Wasn't a good game plan. Oh, so yeah, you get to catch a Mario Paint Monday for once. Well, I feel the last few times you've been here, you're usually here for a few minutes, but then it's usually towards the end of the stream, so it's a little unlucky. Is anybody here doing anything exciting for Christmas? Or nah? Or just anything fun in general for the holidays? I don't really have anything planned specifically. My dad got a turkey, so I guess we're doing a turkey, so that's the thing. I mean, historically, the thing that I'd be excited for is going to GDQ, but I'm not going to AGDQ, so rip that. Unfortunately, maybe some year again I'll go to an AGDQ. I don't know if I don't know about SGDQ. I would like to go, but I don't know if that'll happen. We'll see. It'd be fun. Because like, that's the thing I would be excited for usually. And Secret Santa with friends is cool. But Skittles here, so that's fun also. Ugh. Just gonna go see your fam at home for a day, then come back, lol. Just visiting your sister's house for a bit. Classic. You know, my dad earlier, he zero context. I don't know why. Like, do y'all have the thing where, like, you know, maybe some like family that like some cousin or aunt, whatever, as a kid that like you saw but like never kept up with, like my dad, mouse, can you work, please? Thank you. My dad, he was out here like oh, yo, check out this picture of your cousins or whoever. And he's like, oh yeah, you remember this person? And I'm like, no. Who the fuck is that? Who is that? Mouse, work with me, please. Mouse. Y'all ever have that interaction though, where it's like, oh yeah, I remember this person? Nope. Who the fuck is that? Because of work. I mean, if you have a, you know, I'm definitely not a person who's like super tight with any of my family at all. So like, anytime my dad's like, oh, share this picture of your Aunt Mary or whoever, I'm like, cool. Nice. Yeah, y'all feel that way ever? Y'all ever feel that way? Your mom brings up extended family all the time. I'm just like, I was a baby slash child, I met this person, so I have no idea who you're talking about. Yeah, when my dad was talking about whoever he was talking about earlier today, he was like, oh yeah, they were up when like whoever got baptized. I'm like, bruh, I was probably like single digit age or something. Which I have zero memory of any of that. I don't know. I don't think my dad gets offended though, because it's usually like, oh yeah, you were pretty young. But it's also like, these were not people that were actively in my life ever. So it's like, I have no attachment to them at all in that regard. That is whack though. Your mom gets like a little offended. It's like, all right, like what do you expect? Like, yeah, if you were like 7 or something, and you saw them like once maybe, it's like, okay, like what do you expect? Do you expect me to remember this person? I don't know. I don't know what they expect, or what your mom's expecting. Hard to form significant memories from small things like that. Yeah. Like, I honestly envy people that are like super tight with their family. I'm like, damn, that must be kind of pog. Like people who were like Simply's mom. Shouts to her. I don't know. That always just seemed pretty pog. To have that kind of like relationship. Well, Was anybody worried about Mario Paint? Was anyone like, it's 5 p.m. Where's Mario at? Why isn't he painting yet? Or is everyone just patiently waiting? Waiting at their computer, like, he's gonna go live. He's gonna do it. Just you wait. It's been a while since I've missed a Mario Paint Monday. Like, it's been a long while, I feel like. You're able to do errands, that's true. You weren't like, oh shit, gotta get the stream streak in. Nothing like that. I kinda like that. Boom. Nah. Out of there. Loving the homies, true. In other news, I did not hear about this at all until randomly, I forget why, but Skittle brought it up earlier today. Mouse, can you, is there like a little bit of like dust in here or something? Yeah, Skittle brought it up earlier, but apparently at some point in recent times, I guess Jim Carrey got like plastic surgery, and it crazy. I know, hard to believe. It doesn't look good. I saw it and I was like, ugh. like Skittle said, it's like, yeah, like doesn't like look like him almost. I was like, yeah, like it looks like someone who's like trying to look like him, but it like doesn't look like him. It looks so weird. It seems like whenever people get like I don't know if it's like Botox on its own or like, because it definitely looked like he may have like some fillers like in his cheeks or something maybe. Like it just always looks wrong. It never looks correct ever. Whatever it is, like y'all probably have seen like from like a couple of years ago at this point, I think it's been like when Simon Cowell, like he got some plastic surgery and it looked also terrible. I don't know. Why do people do that? I feel like if you're gonna get like any plastic surgery like that, like, I feel like you have to get like such a small amount. Like it has to be like some like tiny thing. Where it's not completely like just fuck up how you look. Totally. You wanted to go do some last minute Christmas gift shopping, but then you saw Uber prices. I wonder if like, do they specifically like rack up the prices on like during holiday season? Can they do that? Do they do that? I don't know. Buccal or Bucel, I don't know. Fat, lower cheek fat removal is a big thing. It looks horrid. Sounds like a bad vibe. And like, is that something that's just like, oh, that's just like how you look? Like, is that how that is? Or is that like, like where you would store fat in your face or something if you have like excess fat or something? Like, is that something you could just, mouse, stop being dumb. Like, is that something that you could like, oh, if you wanted to, I guess, remove that cheek fat, like, could you just like get into better shape? Or is that just like natural, like, yep, that's just where your face has stuff at? The MG immediately pauses his Isaac run. He's like, yeah, I just got Pyromaniac, so I can pause my run real quick. Cause like, have y'all ever seen it when someone like someone like I guess like tattoos, I guess, like gets like fake freckles put on them? I'm like, no, don't do that. Like that's a no, in my opinion. I'm like, I feel like you shouldn't, even if it's like, oh, people with freckles are so cute. I feel like it's like, well, I don't know, they were meant to have them. But I feel like putting fake freckles on, personally, not the vibe. Cause it's like, you know, like it like part just like it just looks like uncanny. Like, you know, this person like was not born with them. So it just feels like wrong. Kinetics tends to reduce cheek fat, but genetics play a huge factor in fat distribution. This is true. But I wonder like what Owl said, like when people get surgery to like remove it, like is that some like the amount they get removed? Like I wonder if those people, if they could have just like maybe like taken on like a healthier lifestyle to get a more natural result. Or if they're achieving something that like is beyond what their natural body would be able to do. That makes sense. Yeah, it's like at that point, nah. Tim Burton looking character, damn. Kind of truthing though. Yeah, I don't know if I don't even know like when the last time would have been that I've seen a Tim Burton movie. You know, is Nightmare Before Christmas, is that a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie? It's a Christmas movie, right? But it's like also like kind of a Halloween movie, right? Handsome Squidward. When's the handsome Squidward squawks? Ebo already has the regular Squidward ones, but when's the handsome Squidward version? Also, is it crazy today that when we got our pita pit, so at pita pit, you can have either hummus or avocado spread, and I had like the galaxy brain move because we still have hummus that I made like last week in the fridge. So I was like, okay, let me get the avocado spread, and then I can add to it some of the homemade hummus. I get the best of both worlds now. And you'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Was traffic super bad for you guys? It was kind of bad. It was also rainy and dark and winter, and the windshield was dirty, and sometimes it was like, bruh, I can't fucking see like the lines on the road because of the rain and the dirty window. And like I'm using so much windshield washer fluid, and it's not cleaning the windshield. It's just dirty perpetually. I'm like, buh, can you get clean, please? Can you get clean for me? Apparently that's too much of an ask. And then it's like, and I have an astigmatism, like, fuck. When will it end? It wasn't horrible, though. It wasn't the worst traffic. Because I was definitely like, we should definitely go for groceries either today or Tuesday. Because going out on, like, Christmas Eve, it's like, that's probably just a bad plan, honestly. You know, we went to the Indian store in town for the first time in, like, 4 months or something, and then I guess her and her husband probably both own it. I don't know who's the actual owner, but whatever. Like, you know, they're nice and all. They're cool. But goddamn, half the time they talk to us for like what feels like a half hour. I'm like, can we just get the thing we came here for and leave? Like, ugh. Let me out. Let me out. But we have more hibiscus tea now. We have hibiscus tea again. It's been a while, but we're back. We're so back, baby. Yesterday was rough for you. You came with a massive headache, and you thought you could manage at the Black Friday shift. I forgot about Black Friday, like, existing, basically. Because I, like, don't care about stuff like that. You know, Black Friday, like, kind of fake these days. Y'all know how it is. Like, shit on, like, Amazon and in stores where it's like, oops, this is a Black Friday deal. This is, I don't know, like a $2,000 4K monitor that's $2,000 off. It's normally $4,000, by the way. This is a big deal. And then it's like, oops. Like, it's normally $2,000 anyways, but then they mark it up to put it on a discount to say it's on sale, when in actuality, it was never actually discounted. I don't know how that's legal. I don't know how that shit's legal. If companies still do that. I know companies definitely did that sort of stuff. I don't know if that's still like a common thing that companies will do, though. But that shit's fucked up. I like vividly remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, like seeing like some video going around on Twitter where they were in like a Target, I think, or something, and there was, you know, it was like Black Friday, and it's like, whoa, this TV or something is like a huge Black Friday sale, and it's like $800, normally like $2,000, and then they like on like the price label, they like move, like they rip off like the price label, like the Black Friday one, and then the normal price label underneath says it's like $800 normally anyways, and it's like, yep, just blatantly scamming customers, because why not? Why not? Fuck it, it's funny. Let's scam people or something. I don't know. Let's make money. What if we scammed people? Wouldn't that be funny? We did see, though, in Walmart today, not scamming people, unless if she got scammed. I don't know, but this lady, she had like a cart and it was filled with things. And then she got like a big ass TV, and I definitely saw like the worker helping her just like kind of lay it on top of the cart. It was not fitting in. It just kind of sat on top of the cart. I wonder how she did with that. I wonder how they fared with that one. Also, when we're, because basically the only reason half the time we go to Walmart is because the tofu at Walmart, the tofu that's the best deal at the normal grocery store we go to, they only have that tofu in soft tofu, I think. Or it's like regular firm or something. It might be soft. I forget what the label specifically says. But then at Walmart, they have the same tofu, still a good deal, but it's like medium firm. So it's like firmer tofu, and that's usually preferable for us to have the firmer tofu. So it's like, all right, let's go to Walmart and get tofu. And it's like close by. It's like not like a huge detour or anything to go to Walmart if we're out there anyways. The moral of the story here is that we have tofu. That's the dub. We have tofu. I think I don't know if we're gonna do it tomorrow or not, but we got some boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and we're gonna try making this black pepper chicken. Never done it before, but it should be pog. It looked really good. Just based on like seeing it in the video, I'm like, that shit looks good as fuck. Looks so good. The only thing we don't have is dark soy sauce, but like, I'm pretty sure, like, my understanding is that dark soy sauce is not at all necessary, and then it's largely just like a visual component that just like makes your sauce a lot darker. I do think dark soy sauce, I think it's like a bit thicker also, so I think that also might be a factor, but I think from what I understand, having dark soy sauce isn't like super necessary for like a lot of recipes, even if they say like, oh, dark soy sauce. From the same Korean cooking channel, I don't know if he has that. He probably has something similar, but it was just some random short that I saw from some guy. I was like, looks pretty good. Looks good to me. Looks not too crazy. But it is not from my Korean guy. It is from someone else. I think I'm doing a pretty decent job of keeping this contained. Definitely need to bring lunches and coffee for work this week. Or are you gonna make a bunch of like a bunch of like meals for your coworkers, or do you mean oh you mean for yourself? Oh, okay. Rip the food court. I thought you meant you were gonna like we're gonna like bring in things for the homies. But I guess you already did your potluck thing, I think. Already baked your bread, you know. You know, Skittle actually said they want to make try making bread sometime soon. I don't know if that's still gonna happen for sure. But Skittle was saying when Random and David are over this weekend, like they were like, "Oh, we can make like these pog sandwiches, and I can make homemade bread for it and make it extra crazy." Stand mixer with needing the hook attachment is your best friend. We do not have a stand mixer at all, so at least I don't think we do. So I don't know if there's a game plan for that. Or Skittle's just gonna hand mix it. I don't know, honestly, what the game plan is. We'll have to see. Arm workout. Okay, you know, from cleaning out the basement earlier, my dad did find this, like, arm exercise thing. I guess I could show it later or something, if people are super curious to see it. But it is, like, some, like, arm workout equipment device thingy, sent tweet. And I saw, because it looked like it was never used, and on the shipping label, it said it was purchased in 2008. And I'm like, bruh, that's insane. That we out here buying something and then never using it. I'm like, I wonder what happened to it. Apparently it was like 30 bucks. I'm like, damn, I'm kind of surprised that was only 30 bucks. I guess that'd be like 70 or something nowadays. Is legit or a gimmick? It seemed like it was pretty solid. I haven't tried it yet, but it seemed pretty solid overall. It was like a thing you could put it like, I guess, like behind your back or like under like your legs, and it had like things you could grab onto, and I guess you could like increase the tension, and it was just like, okay, you can do like, you know, like curls with it, or you could do like this, I forget what you would call that. I did that at the gym with Random at AGDQ 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago, but you know what happened to December? Where did December go? Didn't December just start and now it's like the end? What happened? Crazy. Yeah, I think having like tons and tons of equipment isn't super necessary for sure. Like pull-up bar is pretty huge. I think the ab wheel is pretty nice. I think about this like every now and then at the college gym that I had access to. They had like this equipment like where it's like a little table thing that you lay on it, like you lay on your stomach, and then it had like this like bar that like your knees would like go up against, and it was like a crunch thing, so you would bring your legs closer to your chest. And I remember that being a really good workout. Like the few times I got to use that, I was like, whoa. This thing's crazy. This thing's a good workout. But I have good vibes with that thing. I forget if I kept it on there or not, but I think at some point I put on my Secret Santa wish list like adjustable, like those adjustable dumbbells. But I was like, only if you could find this for like really cheap, because I know those are like really expensive to get normally. Like they're like $600 or something. Like they're crazy expensive. Like they're pretty pog though. But damn, are they expensive? I forget if I kept that on there or not though. But I was like, oh, that's something I would like if I had it. Like how professional trainers praised Ring Fit Adventure. I've never played it. And you know, Skittle used to have it. I don't know if they still have it or if it's like down in America. I don't know. But I know Skittle had Ring Fit Adventure. I never played it. But yeah, like it genuinely looked like a good workout. I mean, hell, there's an exercise that I remember learning from Wii Fit when I was like 10 probably. Playing Wii Fit at my friend's house. Because I remember at my friend's house, like when we were over there, back in the day, playing the Wii, his mom was like, okay, before you guys play something like Super Paper Mario, like before you play the Mario games, like a regular, like a game, you know? She was like, you have to play like a half hour at least or something of like Wii Fit or like Wii Sports or whatever. Like so we were getting activity, which like, you know, I can respect that. It's like, you know, it's not being like, oh, okay, go outside and bike around the neighborhood and then you can play the game for 10 minutes. She was like, oh yeah, you know, just, you know, play Wii Fit or something for like a little bit. And like Wii Fit was genuinely fun. I liked Wii Fit, even as a kid. That was a fun game. But there's like an exercise I remember from that I still do. And I remember vividly as a kid, I was like really good at it. Like, I don't know, I was always like good at that exercise. I always got like a 100 or like a 90 something on it every time. Yeah, so that was pretty pog. Okay, you know, just like this painting is actually going really well right now. I am really liking how this is going. I think it's going really good. Alright, guys. If I had the means of a DDR cabinet, yeah, that'd be really pog. If I had a functioning VR controller, I'd still be playing Beat Saber. It sucks because getting just a Rift S controller, specifically the left one, is like expensive because my right controller seemingly has no issues, but the left controller is just fucked up. And it sucks that the one that Arma got for me last year doesn't work with my headset. You know, apparently in the eBay listing when they bought it, apparently it said Rift S in it, and then it just isn't the Rift S one. And apparently there are different headsets that controller could work with. I think it's like an Oculus Rift, like original Rift controller, but mine, I have the Rift S, and apparently the Rift S specifically doesn't work with the original Rift controllers because like the tracking is different between them, so it's just like RIP. I'm like, buh, that's so fucked up. So unlucky. Like anytime I've tried like finding a new controller off eBay, it's usually like over $100 for like one controller. And like it's half the time it's like, no, I'm like a good condition one. So it's like, well, like I wouldn't want to just buy one for it to be shitty, you know? So We'll have to see. I would like to get another one because we were getting back into playing Beat Saber. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Got the mod set up again. It's cardio. It's hype. And then like I've tried cleaning it multiple times and it still just like doesn't work. So at this point, I think it's just dead. I don't think there's any hope of saving it unless like some like electronics like wizard got access to it and was like opening it and be like, oh yeah, I see this thing is something something. I don't know. But with what I have access to myself, I don't see any way I could possibly fix it. And I tried all I could and I couldn't get anything to work. So it is just dead. And like I don't have any problems with the headset itself. Like the Rift S I think is pretty solid overall for it not being like for it being a, you know, at this point like older in the tech world sort of things, but I think it's still pretty good. The tracking I think on the controllers themselves is like pretty pog. Like I remember like Arma's VR headset. I'm pretty sure they have a newer model, like I don't think it's an Oculus at all. I think it's like HTC maybe. But I know like they had like a lot of complaints with theirs, like the tracking wasn't very good. And I guess a lot of VR headsets had like, I think it was like 2 to 4 cameras in the headset for tracking the controllers. But for mine, the Rift S, it had 5 cameras. So it was like extra giga tracking, which is hype. Which I think the headset not randomly just losing where your controller is or something, I think is pretty important. That would be definitely annoying AF to deal with. Oh, you know, I forgot that I wanted to do that super hot VR stream. I was like, oh, that'd be fun, I think, streaming super hot VR, but then my controller's dead, so it's like, well, now I can't really do that anymore until I maybe get a new controller one day. Cause I downloaded it, I was like, yeah, let's do this at some point. That'd be fun. And then rip for now, unfortunately. Okay. Do I peel the frame off this? Like, do we peel the frame? I think we peel the frame. You guys ready for some magic to happen? I guess we're gonna use like the white, as they call it. Okay, we're gonna just shave a little bit off the top. Beauty. And then a little bit off the sides. Actually, well, doing it on the left side here doesn't really matter because we're gonna paint over it all anyways, but I guess I'll put some like white down just for it to be consistent, I guess. Let's use this brush. Clean. Okay, I want this one to be a little more curvy. Like Kirby, but curvy. Like, damn, look at the curves on that border, girl. Damn. What? Oh, okay. Now we're talking. And like, I guess technically it would be on the left side too, but I'm not gonna bother with that because it's gonna get covered up anyways. I think there's only been one other Bob Ross painting that I've done so far, I think, that has the frame like this on it. But I like these. I like the frame ones like this. I think that they're pretty cool. They're different. I think they're interesting because they're very rare. They're not common at all. If it was like every episode, it's like, okay, we're gonna do a frame one. It's like, okay, you're gonna have another frame one. Yeah. But because it's so like infrequent, I think that makes it more fun. Yeah, the blade was the first one, where I'm pretty sure, I forget if that was a Bob one or if that was a guest painting. I think it was a Bob one though. But yeah, like they painted on like an actual saw blade, so it was like, okay, I guess I'll just like manually do the blade effect, which it still worked out. It was still pretty cool. That one worked out well. Actually, there was another one recent, or not recently-ish, but there was definitely a third one. Like this being the third, the blade, and then there was another one I remember, but I can't remember like what it was off the top of my head. It's been a while. I don't know, someone check the tapes. "46 minutes in the recording. Can we get sub 1 on this one?" I think we can if I don't sit here and just talk for like 10 minutes without painting at all. I think we can do it. I think we can do it, guys. I've been talking a lot. I've been talking a lot. Which is good. Is it gonna be crazy whenever I get back to streaming more than like once a week? Whenever I'm done with all this art stuff I'm working on. Because I should probably work on doing my Secret Santa thing after this, but I also might just play Isaac instead. I'll finish in time. I've still got like a week. More than a week. That's even if we do it on that day or not. I don't know if we're actually doing on the 30th, but people seem to maybe want to, but I don't know if it's happening for sure that day. But I can definitely finish it in time, 100%. Locking in. Sometimes I can lock in while talking and painting / draw. Sometimes I can. But you know, randomly before stream, I was just looking at YouTube on my phone. I was like literally lying down like over there on the floor and I was just looking at my phone. And there was a video that popped up and it was, I forget the exact title, but it was like talking about like, oh, oh, don't bother with using like the head height to get proportions when drawing method. And the video is basically saying use like relativity to like other pieces of the character. So it's like, oh, it's like so much easier if you draw a character with like, okay, you know, like, oh, like, instead of like comparing like the leg to how many head heights it should be, like compare it to like the thing it's connected to. So compare like the lower leg to the upper leg and compare like, you know, like the whole leg to like the torso or and whatnot. And it's like, hey, I kind of already do that actually when I'm drawing. And I definitely saw a comment which made a good point that's like, yeah, the whole like, oh, you know, just your whole make your character like 7 heads tall, which is like cool and all, but it's also like if you're drawing your character like in like, you know, not like an upright pose, like that becomes a lot harder to accurately measure properly. I kind of got like a mix, but I definitely agree that it's like a lot easier to get like the proportions more accurate. If it's like, okay, like just look at like the thing relative to the other thing. You finished your gift at 4 a.m. on the day you were working. At least you got there though. That's what counts. Never understood the multiple heads thing. The relativity thing just makes more sense. Yeah, definitely. Because when I'm doing like, okay, like how long, like, you know, like it's like, oh, like let's say if it's like, oh, like the arm is raised up, it's like, okay, well, it's like the elbow should be like around like, you know, like top of the head ish. It should be something like that. And I'm like, if I make a fist and I like, you know, move my arm inward, it's like, okay, like the wrist should like, you know, like meet the shoulder about approximately. It should be like around like the shoulder ish. Instead of being like, oh, you know, the forearm should be a 1.23 heads tall or something. I can't visualize multiple heads on top of each other. It's also like, I don't know. I feel like that's like a baseline more of like, oh, like that's like just a generic thing for like if you're I'm talking, not drawing. That's like a more generic thing for it's like, oh, learn anatomy. Like that seems to be like the olden way of doing it. It seems to be like the easy like olden way that they would do it. Easy, I don't know, but like just it seems to be like the way that they would just do it, and then maybe that's just what a lot of people learned off of. But it's like I definitely think basing on like relativity is I think a lot more intuitive, in my opinion. Even though coincidentally in my Paiku ref sheet that I never posted anywhere, that I don't know if I'll ever go back. Maybe we'll get to me doing a version 6 or something, whatever I'm on at this point. But the current one I have, it does actually have like a head height chart on it. But it's just kind of like some like lines in the background. Which I guess, like, you know, it's not to say it's not helpful, per se. It's definitely not unhelpful, but I definitely think... I think relativity is just a lot easier. Plus, it's also, like, you know, you have to be very accurate if you're doing, like, the head height thing. Because it's like, okay, you have to make sure, like, you're measuring the head height, and it's like, okay, make sure, like, you're doing it exactly. And, you know, you're not going to want to care to always make, like, a fucking, like, chart every single time you're, like, drawing any pose. I think that's, like, something I wouldn't want to do. I would want to constantly be like, okay, let's make a head height chart before I can draw this whole character. I feel like when I'm drawing, I feel like I don't use a lot of like the digital tools available, and I draw in more of a way as if I was drawing on paper or just drawing traditionally. Like I still use layers and things, obviously, but like I don't use like any smoothing. I use zero smoothing on any of my brushes. Which, would it be easier if I use smoothing? Probably. But I always just remember one of my Chad profs in college. I always remember he just told us about some student he had at some point in time, and how I think it was like first year or something, and he was like, yeah, like she had good art, but then when I asked them to draw on paper, she couldn't draw very well because she was so reliant on like the smoothing function. And I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense. And like, so I guess like that from that point on, I was like, damn, I don't want that to be me ever. So I think definitely not to say you shouldn't use it. You can use it if you want to. I can't stop you, but it definitely made me be like, damn, I'm not gonna use this anymore. I also, when I've been like working on this whole like secret common personal comic thing, for any of like the frames, I'm like freehanding all the boxes. Like, because I don't know, I hate using the rulers in Clip Studio. Like, they're fine, but I just don't like using them. Like, I would rather just freehand the line. And I'm like, you know, it's just better practice if I'm just practicing drawing a straight line. I feel like it's like better practice for me to do it like that than to, even though I could just use the ruler and be better. And for like the final version when I ink it, I probably will just like use a ruler likely to make sure like it's straight and everything. But it's like, I guess for the sketch, it's like I'd rather just freehand it for that point, personally. Actually, there was a drawing that I did that I never posted that I did intend on posting. That was like all the lines in it were like freehand. I didn't like use the ruler for anything. I don't know. I feel like for like the last like, I said like 8 times in the last 2 seconds. I need to stop. But for the last long while, I feel like I have had like a rendering like crisis. I don't know. In the way of it's like I don't know how I want to color these things half the time. It feels like I don't have any like defined like, oh yeah, this is how I render things. And maybe it's because over the past like year or so, like there was just so many instances where I was just like I wasn't rendering anything. I was just like sketching things when I was drawing. And I had like an arc like a few like years ago where I felt like everything I did was like watercolor. But I haven't done that in a very long time, and I thought maybe I should try like getting into that vibe again. So I was looking the other night at like some bunch of Toriyama art, and I'll play it someday, but like seeing some of like the like, Chrono Trigger art that he did, where he did like some illustrations for it. It's like, man, I don't know, Toriyama's watercolor art is very good. Well, like the watercolor rendering is very good. I always really like that. I feel like any of his art, because I should have done that with whatever. Because he did like have like a point in time where he switched to coloring digitally, and I definitely don't think it's bad, the coloring, but I think the vibe of the traditional watercolor painting was like so good. Like I think it looked so nice. But the convenience of digital, so it's like I want to be able to like, you know, being able to mimic watercolor digitally is like pretty pog. Maybe next year I'll get into stuff like that more. My watercolor. I don't even know what the last thing was that I did watercolor. It's been a while. I'm trying to think. It's been a long time. Been a long time in my head, but I don't remember how long it's actually been. I'm not gonna sub 1. Fuck, I actually just missed the sub 1. 50 seconds ago. No. That's okay. Because I was talking and not painting. The thing I literally said that would cost me the sub 1. Yeah. I understand that for sure. Definitely getting to a point where it feels like I have someone that's like, yeah, this is how I want to render things. Definitely want that eventually. But that does take a while to like figure out for sure. And it's always something that like changes with time for sure. Let's use black. Getting to the point where I can pump out drawings. It is a long process. I mean, I definitely often struggle with just speed, where it's like, damn, am I drawing like too slow? I don't know. But it's like really hard to know. It's like am I actually drawing too slow? I have no idea. And it can be hard, like, you know, especially if it's like if you don't know per se exactly maybe what you want in something. Like how in the context of the current thing I'm working on, where it's like, okay, I might get to like a page where it's like, okay, I don't know what I want to do on this. Like immediately, it's like I need to like figure out something. Whereas if I was drawing from like a reference or something, it would probably be a lot faster. And maybe partially is due to just internet and social media. Just maybe making you feel like, oh, you need to draw quickly. So I feel like there are definitely some artists out there where it would feel like they would just pump out like crazy rendered things like very fast, and it's like I don't know if they have these queued up or if they're just like crazy. Because yeah, some people do just draw very fast and are crazy at it. And honestly don't know if it's like an ego thing or just like a jealousy thing. I don't know, but it's like it definitely made me feel some kind of way whenever I would see. I haven't seen it in a long time. I feel like it was like a Twitter thing I used to see back in the day, back when Twitter wasn't shit. But when I would see like some like usually big artists and they would post like just a quick sketch, star emoji sparkle, and it's like it's like it looks very much more than just a quick sketch. I don't know, like I'm sure there are some people that are like being snobby with it, but I'm sure there are also people that like aren't trying to like come off like snobby, like trying to be like, oh yeah, just did this like quickly. Like, I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I didn't put much time into this one. And it's like, bruh, like there's no way. Like, I don't know, that always made me feel some kind of way. It's like, I don't know if you're trying to like engagement bait and get people to be like, what? What do you mean this is only a quick sketch? But I feel like there's a part of me that kind of felt like, I don't know, it's like, damn, like, it's like you're saying like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, look how fast I did this. I don't know, it always gave like a little bit of like showing off vibes, I guess. Not necessarily in a speed sense, but more like immediately being able to put thoughts on the paper. Yeah, that can be really tough. That's tough for me too sometimes, where it's like if I have a vision, like there are some things that are tricky to be able to like visualize fully, which it's always a challenge. I did not storyboard this comic. I think that's like the smart way to do it. I didn't storyboard a single thing. Literally, there was a singular image that originally spawned the concept of it, and then back in like June or something, and then it made me start like generating ideas from that, and then I stopped like working on it for like a while, and then like in August I worked on it a little bit more, and then I stopped working on it. And then in November, like mid-November or something, I was like, I need to go back and finish this thing because I never finished it, and I was supposed to finish it in like August. Oops, and now it's November. Oops, I didn't finish it, and now it's gonna be the end of the year, and I might not finish it before the end of the year. Oops again. And when I started working on it again in November, I just started from scratch. I didn't use anything. Well, I used some things that I worked on as like, you know, obviously things I did before was like, okay, well, I have that in my head, but it's like I just started from the beginning, and so I basically reset the whole thing. So hey Brack, hey, how's home? I'm on RuneScape, I'm sailing. Oh my god, I'm doing One Piece, I'm sailing like Carlos. Brack right now, probably. Humble brag, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A little humble brag is what I would say those people were doing. Nah, I'm sure some of them weren't intentionally doing it, but some people probably surely were. I'm sure some people intentionally did humble brag. Yeah, I think storyboarding it is the right way to do it. But, and you know, when I was thinking about that the other day, because I think I was saying to Skittles, like, I should have probably storyboarded this and probably would have been a lot easier, but I didn't. And in college, so in my digital, like, illustration class that I had, I've talked about this guy before, but like one of our Chad teachers in college, for that year or semester, whatever, he was on like break or leave, whatever, because he was learning like 3D VR stuff. He was learning that stuff to be able to teach in future classes, which is cool. But the substitute teacher we had was not very pog. Like, he wasn't a bad guy, but he wasn't as hype. He was not the same. And so, like, it was like a whole, you know, digital art class, like using our drawing tablets, and doing digital illustration stuff, and I was really looking forward to that class. And then it was all fucked up because of that teacher. And there was a point where we were doing storyboard stuff, and it's like, okay, that's cool, learning storyboarding, that's fun. And I remember for the storyboard thing we did, because I think me and a bunch of people all thought it was like, okay, make up a storyboard. But instead of making our own thing, it was like we had to copy like what he was doing, or copy like an existing, it was either like a already made storyboard or like a little short, like it was like a commercial or something. I forget what it was. It was something with a skeleton, I remember. But like we all thought it was gonna be like, okay, make your own thing. Because I feel like for learning storyboarding, I feel like that would make sense. Like, come up with an idea of like a little, you know, some kind of sequence and storyboard it. But it was like, no, just copy this thing. And it's like, what the hell? Let me make something. I don't want to just copy that. So that was kind of dumb. I didn't learn much at all from that class. That was disappointing AF. It's been like 6 years. Hate to say that. It's been 6 years, but it's still disappointing. How was twerk today, Prak? I hope it was amazing, by the way. Do we call this one done? I think I might be done with this one. Speaking of Prak's twerk today, I think I might be done with this one on that note. Oh, wait. I can see in OBS, there's a bit of white over here I have to go over. Like, this, like right here, it's directed to the left of my brush. This is the blank canvas space I discarded with white. There's a strip here on the right side too. Like on my CRT, it is so hard to see that, but on OBS, it's a lot more clear to see that. Okay. I do think on that note, that's the end of this painting. So, for any YouTube watchers, I hope people enjoyed me talking nonstop for the last like hour. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.